Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning to whoever is joining in on Zoom. We're also going to be streaming this on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, do leave us a hi on the live chat so that we know you're here. And for people on Zoom, just let me know your name and the city that you're from. So we know you by your name. My name is Aparna. I'm going to be your host for today. We've got Bill. He's going to be our expert speaker. So just let us know on the chat. Nikita, good evening. Okay, someone from Dubai. Chris from Durham. Good evening, Chris. Hi, Ayush, Ankit, Nuraj, Emmanuel. Good evening, good morning to all of you. We're going to get started very, very soon. And you all know why we've gathered here. You're going to understand what has happened in cybersecurity in the domain so far in 2024 and how you can stay ahead and how you can be prepared. Shruti, hi, good evening. Let's see people on Zoom. Shadrak from Nigeria. Okay. Siasanga from South Africa. Arslan from Pakistan. Good evening. We've got Parmeshwar from Bidar. Good evening. People from all over the world here. Nice to have you guys. Yes. Great, great, great. Keep them coming, keep them coming. Jack, good evening. Monica, good evening. Someone is asking about my day. Thank you, Ayush. I've had a great day. Hope you have had a great day as well. Nuraj. Okay, okay, okay. Amazing, amazing. So we're about to get started, and like I said, the agenda for today is for you to understand what has happened in cybersecurity so far in terms of industry trends and what kind of skills you need to be prepared with in order to get yourself ready for 2025. Okay, so before we start, just some quick ground rules because we get these questions later during the session as well. So in case you miss something, please do not worry. This session is being recorded. So let's say you have network glitches, you've got something to address at work or at home. Do not worry, you will receive the link to the recording and a webinar certificate in the next couple of days, right? So we've collected your email IDs, but we'll collect your names for giving you the certificate towards the end of the session. Yeah, right. But let's say you want to watch the recording immediately. Uh, yes, yes. So let's say you want to watch the recording immediately, you can take a look at our YouTube channel and you'll find the recording there. Okay, right? So with that said, let's get started with the session. Okay, great, great. So if you've got questions, please use the Q&A box to get your questions answered. Please don't use the chat box because I might miss and we might we might not know what your question has been. So please make sure you use only the Q&A box there. Yes? All right. Okay, great. So quick introduction about Simplilearn. Simplilearn offers digital skills in various domains, one of them being cybersecurity. So if you haven't come across Simplilearn so far, please check out simplilearn.com for all the courses that we have. Yeah, so let's say you want to upskill in any of these domains that you see. You've got certifications, you've got some long-term programs in partnership with some prestigious universities and also some industry experts, right? So you can check out the website to understand more about the course portfolio that we have. And today in particular, we're going to be understanding a bit more about the cybersecurity expert master's program, and we'll understand how you can enroll and be a part of this course, right? But that after we have completed the session, after you have understood what kind of skills you should be, gaining in cybersecurity, right? Great to see your introductions. Nice to see that we've got an enthusiastic bunch of people from across the world. Thank you so much to people on YouTube as well. So keep the questions coming. Make sure you use the Q&A box and also keep the questions relevant to what is being talked about. Okay, so we've got Bill, who is our expert speaker today. He's got 25 plus years of experience in information security, privacy, and risk, and he's been involved in ISACA and ISSA chapter boards. He's got immense expertise in the area. He's served as a consultant in various domains. So he's your go-to expert for understanding how you can be prepared for 2025. Welcome, Bill. I'll also let you introduce yourself to the learners. Bill.
Double muted. That is a phrase we didn't say 4 years ago. Double muted. Oh, it's I was so funny. Working remotely. Over the years, 25 years of experience. I mean, it's been a blast. A lot of times, we're going out different areas. United States, going abroad, and just seeing all these different environments, and of course, every so often, a few years after you work with a customer, it'll be like a healthcare customer or financial services customer, and then you'll be reading a newspaper article, and and you're thinking, why is this so familiar? Oh, that's why. Now I remember why. I wasn't allowed to say anything, but actually now it's public. Some of the systems that they would have. It's just working across, financial, healthcare, government space, manufacturing, and I've been fortunate enough actually. I'm an accredited trainer as well for ISACA and EC Council certified instructor as well. So it's just a lot of experience has really helped me see what's happening and and it's always been a game where you're not done. It's not like, oh, let me go get my CISSP and I'm done. No, because after the CISSP, then you want to be a certified ethical hacker. And you say, okay, am I done? No, now that, there's always something more to go on. So this is one of the few industries or careers that you could have. I don't think you're ever going to say that it's, the proverbial time to make the donuts. You're not going to say, oh, it's the same thing. It is always changing.
Right, right. And we'll know how it's changing or it's going to change in this session today. Before we start, let me also collect one piece of information from our learners as to what your work experience has been. And this needn't really be just cybersecurity limited experience. So let us know through this poll. And people on YouTube, please use the live chat to answer this question for us. You won't be able to see the poll here because you're not participating on Zoom. Just let us know what your work experience is overall, collectively. Okay? Okay. Just so that Bill knows the profile of learners and he can tweak his conversation. That's the reason. Okay. Use the poll, please. Great. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. And remember, if there's any other poll that I'm going to launch in the future, I'm going to keep it live for close to 1.5 minutes, not more than that. So make sure you give in your answers quickly. Great, great. If you've got issues accessing the poll, okay, I can give you a QR code. Yeah. Here you go. You shouldn't be having an issue accessing polls on Zoom, but anyway, you still want to. Great. Thank you so much. Most of our YouTube audience, they're students. Very few of them have experience. Let's see. People on Zoom, I'm going to be sharing these results with you, Bill. Half of them are students. Yeah, nearly half of them. A third of them have more than 5 years of experience. So yeah, that's the profile.
All right. Excellent.
Great, great. So I think I'll hand it over to you, Bill, from here. Let's understand what kind of skills they should be developing and what they should be looking forward to in the future. Great. So let me know when I can change the slides and all of that. I'll be here.
Right. So we're going to talk about what has changed in 2024 and how this is going to affect how you stay ahead in your career. And if we look at our next slide here, we say specifically, 2024, we had a lot of new challenges. We've seen challenges year after year. That 2024 is the year of AI. We have enabled sand, silicon to think with the large language models, and we've taught it how to determine new thoughts for us. And so what, of course, with, you have this great new power and it can do all of this great, wondrous things. And now the malicious actors come in and say, well, wait a minute, I can use that too. I can automate what I'm doing. I can create this malicious malware and it'll change and it'll mutate and it's being done for me. So we've seen the rise of the AI powered threats, and the malicious actors have jumped on that bandwagon also and said, well, this is what we can do. And of course that, they're still not afraid to, the malicious actors will still do, they'll still do old school social engineering. They'll still call you on the phone. They'll still send you phishing messages. They're getting more and more sophisticated in what they do. There are call centers for this that you can, if you want to attack an organization, you don't have to do it yourself. You can hire an organization to do it for you. Um, and um, and the other big thing, of course, is that we've seen the shift of vulnerabilities because folks are moving their data to the cloud. These days, it's all let's get your data, let's get your applications all up into the cloud. And the cloud is someone else's computer. And the other big thing that came out again this year was third-party service providers, and that we're seeing service providers, and so your organization might be secure, but then you just think or you assume that your third-party service provider is secure, and and sadly they've not been in a few cases. Big case this year with breach the Change Healthcare in the United States. And people are like, who has changed healthcare? I've never heard of changed healthcare. Exactly. You went to a local provider. You had no idea that local provider used United Healthcare, United Healthcare Group subsidiary called Change Healthcare. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the letter shows up in your mailbox because they've been breached. And it's not unusual. We're seeing this migration to the cloud and other third-party service providers. And now we have so the cyber criminals are like, well, wait, I can go there. I can go look at the third party. I can attack that supplier, and it has the same benefit as if I attacked a large entity. Allegedly, T-Mobile allegedly has been breached by Chinese hackers. You would think that T-Mobile had a very secure network, but allegedly that has recently occurred. And so these changes really they emphasize the need to one stay informed. It's one of those things. Yes, I will tell folks sometimes. Yes, I'll watch the news and I'll see something on the news, and 9 times out of 10, it's yes, this is something I already was seeing rumblings about, on the internet. And you have to be proactive. You can't just sit back in cybersecurity. You just can't. And you have to be able to adapt to a wide range of cyber risks because it's not just the simple things that we had. Like, when I got my CEH back in 2009, yeah, some of the old tricks still work, but now like the new CEH version 13, there's this AI because well the malicious actors are using it. So yes, the ethical hackers are going to use it also. And, uh, and what we're seeing also is that the certification is essential because, well, one, HR will use that as a checkbox. The applicant tracking systems will look at your resume and they'll look to see that you have that certification mentioned. And if you don't have that certification method mentioned, Well, they'll just you didn't score high enough because you didn't have XYZ certifications that they were looking for, and they're the ones that are in their job descriptions. And I say, okay, you didn't score high enough. We're putting that to the side. We're going to find people that have the credentials that we're looking for. And so staying ahead, you have to master cutting edge tools and strategies, and definitely AI is one of them. Uh, and the ability to anticipate, detect, and neutralize the attacks proactively. So you have to think about it. So even if you're not just good, even if you say, oh, I'm not going to be an ethical hacker, believe it or not, the ethical hacker skills, the skill set helps you be a better defender. You can actually defend a system because you know the offensive side of it as well.
Got it. Got it.
I think we have the key shifts here. AI, right? Everyone's using AI. When you go to use Google or Bing, you're using AI, and you're seeing this result. You're seeing that automation. So cyber criminals, like I said, they're using it. They're able to really adapt their attacks quickly. Uh, the cloud security, you have more data that's stored online. It's no longer on premise. It's up in the cloud, right? Um, supply chain reliance upon third parties. You have to have monitoring and due diligence in place to verify what they're doing and be able to, if they represent a threat, uh, to be able to take some additional steps. Now another, I zero trust. Also, almost every single product this year has adaptive, artificial intelligence in it. The other feature that most products have now is zero trust. But this is actually a good thing because of the sophistication of the malicious actors. It's this notion of you continually have to verify who you are. You have that identification and authentication and authorization at every single point. You're no longer trusted just because you're in the network. And so, securing that environment takes new skills. And The certification demand I mentioned on the previous slide is just that HR is demanding it. There are other places where we find contractual negotiations just between vendors. We're seeing various regulatory frameworks that will stipulate. Like years ago, PCI DSS for the payment card industry, you could have a CISSP or you could have an auditing certificate. And now they want their auditors to have both. They're increasing the certification. We're seeing, you want to work on a contract, and their questions are going to be, well, okay, what certifications do you have? And I don't know. I see one question here that was asking, and someone saying, well, they have a junior pen tester certification from TryHackMe, and then someone said something about offensive security. And when you're looking at certifications, you want to make sure that they're going to match up with the jobs that you've been looking for. You say, oh, this is the kind of job I think I want. Go look at that job. Go look at what they list at the bottom, and they'll say, okay, prerequisites. We want you to have X, Y, and Z. And in some cases you might see offensive security mentioned, but you won't see it all the time. And you look at those certifications now, those can still be useful because if you're onboarding, and I think we have like 44 to 50% of folks here who are still students or they're entry level. Well, okay, so you get experience that you'll use when you go take like the CompTIA Security Plus and so on. But there's in the United States we have the DoD. It's now the 8140. And I forget the gibberish after it, but it's a framework and it's used by government contracting. And then other organizations will sort of infer from that and go, well, we're hiring a penetration tester. What certifications do they have? This is a SOC analyst. What should they have?
Yeah.
So, and I think, yep. So the skills, right? Ethical hacking. And someone will say, well, why? I'm not going to be doing hacking, but I also need to know what the hackers are doing. And I need that, even if I'm in a compliance role, and you say, well, you're compliance. Yep. But I need to make sure that I'm going to hire ethical hackers that are going to do a proper job. And that's so it's very important that you have that skill set and understand that skill set. Um, whether you're hacking yourself or or you're hiring the hackers, you want to understand how that methodology works. AI and machine learning definitely have to have that. And it's used in all the new software products. It's all the new security products have some sort of AI. Now, AI, we have to watch it though, because AI, it will hallucinate. It will make up an answer. It will never say, I don't know. It will find something and say it's the answer. So you have to understand AI, be aware how that works with threat detection and response. Uh, Obviously, cloud security needed these days because virtually everybody is moving their data into the cloud, the workloads up into the cloud. And in order to AI and hacking, you really need to have hands-on tools. It's you can't, like, if I pick up a book on ethical hacking, that's great. It's a screenshot to me. It doesn't mean anything until my hands are actually on the keyboard. And that's where CEH, they have a whole series of labs. And they actually now in the new version 13, there's a master CEH designation, yet you complete a practical exam to be able to become that master. CompTIA, they have labs to give you hands-on experience. CISSP tends to be a little bit more case study, right? But you should understand how these products work from a hand-on experience before attempting that. Even though it's a managerial type of exam, you should understand how those tools are going to work.
Right. Got it. Yes. How
So
to do.
sort of, yep.
Yeah.
The certifications, CEH now version 13. It's of version 13, they added AI. And it's not just they added AI as a module at the end. They said, no, virtually all 20 modules have AI in them. And they show you the practicality of like why an ethical hacker would use AI. The CompTIA, the CISSP, they boost your career prospects. There is, and I'm not going to quote numbers. There are people like, oh my gosh, there's 2 million jobs in cybersecurity that are left unfilled. I don't know if it's 2 million. I know there are some applications out there that are phishing for information. I know that some of those job applications are out there, malicious people who are phishing for resumes from people. Yep, some of them are. But there's a high demand for security roles, and it's across different industries. And cybersecurity career, even if you are, like even some people are like, oh, I'm a CEH. Okay, when did you get your CEH? If you got it back in like 2009 to 2015, that range. Well, that's what, 9 years at least, right? 9 to 15 years. Technology changes, right? People are like, well, why? And I'm like, well, you wouldn't want your auto mechanic working on your car if you have one of those new vehicles that's got the auto stop and start functionality, and this is a mechanic who he looks at it and goes, your car keeps shutting off. I'm like, well, because he hasn't maintained his skill set. We see other traits, they all have this continuous learning, and it really is essential to stay updated on the tools, right, as well as the emerging threats. What are the threat actors doing? Because they're the ones that you're protecting against.
Yeah. Okay. Which certification, how they should consider, what factors should they be keeping in mind?
Well, you heard me mention, we say here career goals. It's look at the job recs, look at the job requisitions, right? The applications the job postings that look interesting to you. And you go to the bottom and it'll say prerequisites, certifications. This certification would be nice to have, or this certification is required, right? That's a big thing. Like, what are you looking to do? Um, you know, are you looking to become a developer or a builder? Are you looking to become a defender? Right? Do you want to, be that expert in cybersecurity? Look to see what your job postings are suggesting you should have. Um, your experience of where you are now. And like if you're coming in as a student or entry level, well, yes, you would want to look at something like a Security Plus as your entry level, absolutely. And if you just dived right into a certified ethical hacker class, you'd be underwater. You would, you know, what am I doing here? Um, the budget and time commitment is another big one, of course, and I know someone who he tells me he's going to get his CCIE, which is a certified Cisco internet networking engineer. And he tells me he took the paper version of the test, and that was a scary process. And now he has like 12 to 18 months, whatever it is. He's got the time frame that he has to pass the practical part of the CCIE.
Mm.
Uh, so now he got the budget taken care of, but now he's got to figure out the time commitment. How do you find that time? And I don't know. We've got a lot of students here, so if you're in university, you're busy with classwork. You got to find a way to fit that into your time. You can't say, "Oh, wow, I'm going to take off for the next month." I don't think a lot of us can do that.
Mm.
Not a lot of us could take off. Um, and I just saw a proposal recently. Someone said, "Oh, project management. They wanted people to take 2 weeks full, Monday through Friday, full days." And I said, "You've got to." Wow, that's scary. Just the fact that it's 2 continuous weeks and then it's the entire day. You could do nothing all day. So that time commitment, how do you fit it into your schedule? So that's yeah. How do you decide, which certification and which program works for you?
Right, right. Got it. Thanks so much for these insights. So before we take any more questions, or if you do have questions, please use the Q&A box here. Some questions coming in on YouTube, we'll answer them in a bit, but we want to understand now as to what is your blocker, what is stopping you from pursuing a career in cybersecurity or becoming the expert that you want to become, right? So I'm going to launch a quick poll, and please use the option that is most seems the most appropriate to you. People on YouTube who are also posting questions, just let us know what is exactly your roadblocker. Yeah. Yes, Mars, we'll take you through the cybersecurity expert master's course today. So I'm not sure which course you're enrolled in. Kelvin, we'll take that question in a bit. But maybe Bill, you can answer this question because it's pretty straightforward, I guess. So Kelvin has this question: can a degree really help get a job in cybersecurity?
A degree. It
Yeah.
depends. I know said like a consultant. It depends. Uh, there are a lot of job postings that they'll say they want a bachelor's degree. There is a move to the recommended. It's a plus. I know my own career path years ago. I got some certifications, and
Mhm.
then I got myself a better job, and that better job offered tuition uh, reimbursement.
Oh, okay.
So that was how, because now that time commitment we talked about, right? The budget and time commitment. How much is that? A college program, if you're trying to get like a traditional college degree, what is it? 4 years. If you're lucky, 4+1 for a master's program. I mean, the fact that organizations like there are these 4+1 programs, and people are like, wow, that's great. I'm like, yeah, because it used to take you 4+2 or to 4 years to get a master's degree, 4 for the bachelor's and 4 for the master's. And people will be like, but what can I do? Well, no, that's part of that time commitment. You're on this ride for the next 4 years, and you know that's that time commitment. Like you're on this path, and are you still going to want that path in 4 years? And can you wait 4 years? Because you can't say, well, I've completed 5 classes out of a degree, because I work with the academia. I do some academic, college level courses, university master's levels, and the people are like, well, do my credits transfer? I get that question a lot. Do they transfer from one school to the other? And I go, no. Maybe some, but it's sort of like, oh, here's 9 credits out of 120. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, do you need a degree to be in cybersecurity? No. If an employer requires a degree and you don't have one, then I know from my own experience, certification was the key that sort of broke the door open. And it was, let me go, I'm going to date myself. For me, it was certified Novell, or certified NetWare. I forget what, because they flip-flopped on that acronym. But that was my big shift, is let me go get that, and it made it, but yes, I said Novell and NetWare in a sentence. And so, how long ago it was, but that was it. And, getting that certification then got me the better job. And then with that better job, they actually reimbursed for my tuition, which then that budget and time commitment was taken care of.
Got it. Got it. Thanks, Bill. I hope that answers, Kelvin, your question. I hope it answers that. I've stopped the poll, and I'm also going to share the results for everyone to see. Most of you, again, half of you feel that you don't have the practical exposure you need to become job ready, right? And some of you also feel your work schedule or your schedule in general is a problem and it won't allow you time to upskill, right? So that is where the Cybersecurity Expert Masters program comes in. We've got a comprehensive course covering various certifications and various modules in cybersecurity. And the best part is that you can do this remotely at the comfort of your home, and you will just need to spend about 8-9 months on this course, right? So more about this course in a while. We'll take you through the curriculum and all of the other features as well. But just quick summary, you've got live instructor-led training, which means you're able to interact with your trainers. You're also able to interact with your peers in these sessions. And along with that, you get access to simulation tests for practicing and preparing yourself for certifications that are part of the course, right? We'll take you through these certifications in a while. And as a compliment, or as a complimentary, feature, you get an exam voucher of CEH that is valid. So with 6 months of complimentary iLabs access. So this comes along with the course. Now, how long is this exam voucher valid? Bill, do you have clarity on this? Because I'm sure people might have questions on how long can they use the exam voucher after they've taken the training.
That is an excellent question. So EC Council, when they bundle the training packages, the EC
Yeah.
Council, like lab manual and access to the student, their
Mhm.
CEH book,
Mhm.
is 1 year. The labs is 6 months.
Uh-huh.
The exam, the voucher is good until the exam changes, I think.
Oh.
I now I would never advise anyone to do that, because you know, and I was finishing a batch for the CEH version 12. They just changed it to version 13 last month, and I
Yeah.
remember we were going through the class. We didn't even have the version 13 materials yet, and
Mm.
people were like, "Well, should I wait?" And I'm like, "Well, no, actually, because I know version 13 is coming down the pike. I know you're, like November 1st or November 3rd, somewhere in that the first week of November, we'll say." EC Council said, nope, you have to take version 13. So that was the oh wow, their voucher, and actually EC Council was pretty good about it in this case. That if you had a version 12 voucher, you were taking a version 13 exam,
Oh.
because you didn't have a choice. They just cut everybody off. So they were honoring those vouchers. Um,
Right.
so I would tell folks, anytime you take any program, any certification program, you
Mhm.
always want to take the certification exam as close to the end
Yeah.
of the class as possible.
Got
It's, yep.
got it. Got it. Great. So with that, Bill, if you can take them through the course curriculum and let them know what they'll be having on they'll be learning here.
Right. Absolutely. So we want to make sure that folks are together as a cohort, because you typically will form teams, and your team will go through together. And these will actually be this is part of your network that you're all going through the program together. It's your network that you're paired with to work on assignments. That lab assignments, and produce documents, for some of the sample artifacts. And then we bring everybody up to speed with the introduction to cybersecurity. because well, like what's a vulnerability versus a threat versus a risk versus an exploit versus the hacker versus cracker type mentality. Getting on the same pages with some of those. Um, and then we reinforce that with the Security Plus, which satisfies one of the key boxes on a lot of job applications, and some of the various frameworks when they're looking for certified, qualified individuals, uh, and uh, and then you move on to the certified ethical hacker, which of course there you're learning the skills of the malicious actors would do, but you're using them on behalf of an organization.
Right.
And this for sort of that foundation, I said, you don't necessarily want to go into CEH version 13 cold. You want to have that, build up to it a little bit. And that's what the way this course curriculum is designed, it lets you do that. Uh, and the CISSP up at the top, and someone earlier had said something about management or director, I think maybe was what it said in the chat log. And I saw that mention of the directors. And yes, the CISSP, they are your managers. They're building the infrastructure. And it's the way this is designed, it's important. Okay, this is how I could break into it. Now this is how I can defend against it. And the CISSP is, addressing the risk management and thinking about how do we manage these systems. So for those of you, a lot of times, yes, that's where a lot of people's their career goal ends up being at some point. You do, to get your CISSP, you do need to have 4 to 5 years of experience, depending on whether or not you have a college degree. Whereas the CEH and a CompTIA, you just take the test and you're certified. But and I think Parma, we were talking about this that uh, when you take the CISSP exam, if you don't have the experience, you become what's considered an associate of ISC2. And
Right.
a lot of consulting companies actually like that because you're a new hire, right? You're sort of new to the field, but you have passed one of the toughest exams out there, and the consulting company can put you on a project. And well, how do I know this person knows? Well, this person, they're not CISSP yet, but they passed the exam, and all we're doing is waiting for them sort of that 4 to 5 years of experience. So you're getting a bargain. A lot of times, sometimes I'd be like, oh, that's totally fine with me if I was hiring someone. Oh, you've passed the exam, but you don't have the experience. It's a good value for me. So it's you could definitely get a lot of value from that. Even those of you who are in school and or have low number of years of experience, because like that whole associate program is wonderful. And you have the electives. The CISM, near and dear to my heart, as that's an ISACA certification. Oftentimes we see the CISSP and the CISM, they're very similar. The CompTIA Network Plus, sometimes that's a nice, it's an elective, you don't have to do it, but it does give you a little bit of foundational knowledge, which helps fill in some of the pieces of Security Plus and Certified Ethical Hacker. Like I forget, we get to like the fifth module on CEH, I think it is, and I say something about the OSI model, and sometimes people, what OS, what? And that's where the Network Plus helps. Um, and there's also the Certified Cloud Security Professional, which that's the ISC2 certification. So now you get the voucher for the exam for the CEH because that's the way EC Council bundles everything.
Mm.
Everything else, you could go take the exams on your own.
Yes.
So but this is all complimentary. It's not like, oh, let me put I'll use a joke from when I got my degree. One of my requirements was I had to take a course in death, dying, and bereavement, and that was required to get my undergraduate degree.
Was that a prerequisite? Completing the course was a prerequisite for getting a degree?
Yes, it was. Yeah, they didn't specifically say that course,
Yeah.
but you had to take a course in philosophy or something of that sort. And
Ah,
what am I going to take? I'm like, why am I even doing this? I mean, because I remember, gosh, the biology courses I had to take. Thankfully, they were the early primitive versions that you could take online. And so you had the little simulated labs. I was like, yes, that's my speed. I can work on a simulated frog. I'm like, in my day-to-day job, I don't dissect anything. I'm not a funeral director. I'm not a counselor, but those are the things. Someone again, that question about the degrees, right?
Okay, amazing. So, for this course, though, you don't have a prerequisite to be a part of the course, or in order to complete the course, you will just need to finish all these modules on a dedicated platform that will be given to you once you enroll. And of course, you can choose whichever elective seems the best to you. Now, just to make things more clear about the course, I have shared the link to the course page with you guys. It's there on the chat box, and I'm also going to take you through the course here. So let's just take a look. Yes. So remember that the next upcoming cohort for the course starts on the 2nd of December. So you still have time to enroll, but if you are looking to upskill sooner and you want to finish it before the end of this year, you can absolutely, finish enrolling before the end of this year. You can absolutely do that by giving us a yes on a poll that I'm going to be launching. So if you feel that this course is the right fit for you, let us know your interest by clicking a yes on this poll. Yeah. So I'm going to keep the poll live for a while. We're also going to take questions, but before that, just quick pointers about the course here. So the course duration is 4 months. And like I said, you get, like Bill also mentioned, you get the EC Council kit, you get the exam voucher, you get access to labs in case this is not visible. Yeah. Also the EC Council courseware. Okay. Along with this, you get simulation tests for you to be ready for the exams that you're going to be preparing for. And here you go. So this is the best part about the course. This course is rated 4.5 by SwitchUp, 4.4 by Course Report. You could click on these links and check out reviews by our learners, actual learners who have been an alumni of this particular course. Someone asked me, how is this course different from another one offered by IIT Kanpur, ENICT Academy? So that course is a little bit different. So you've got concepts from the fundamentals of cybersecurity to the advanced concepts. So that's a little different from what you see here. But of course, one I can't say which is better. You can actually explore both these options and talk to the learning advisor and see whichever fits your needs the best. Yes. So let me just take you through a certificate as well. So towards the end of the course, you receive a certificate that looks like this. And where are your live classes exactly conducted? So it's not conducted, on Zoom. It's conducted on a separate platform. You give in your credentials once you enroll. Yes. And everything else about the course, which is the course fee and how you can pay, is available here. So I'm just going to show that as well. So if you just scroll down in the course page, this is of course in INR, but you will find these options in USD and whatever currency is applicable to you. Okay, so when you click on link, the fee gets updated based on your location. This is just for Indians, yeah, people living in India. Now, along with all of the features that I mentioned, you have one more feature. Someone mentioned how you can take up jobs in cybersecurity, how you get started. So with the help of this course, you get free help, complimentary assistance on finding jobs. That includes polishing your resume, includes giving you an IIM Jobs Pro membership. So this is also applicable to US learners, not just Indian learners, but this is there only in India and in US, not in the other regions. So you get access to IIM Jobs Pro membership, or if you're in the US, you get a pro membership for Talent Inc. And your profile basically gets highlighted to potential recruiters. So that's what happens with the Job Assist program here. Now, when you click on download brochure, what you get is the course brochure, not the brochure for the Job Assist program. So in case you're looking to understand more about this, your way should be to click a yes on the poll, and then a learning advisor will contact you. What happens here is that you get access to a detailed brochure containing details about the modules, details about the trainers, program advisors, and everything else that is mentioned in this particular page. You will find it in a detailed format in the brochure. Okay, right. So with that, I think I will leave the poll live, like I said, and we'll take some questions. So Bill, do you want to take a look at the questions on the Q&A box? The first one says, how can we learn cybersecurity? Where can we learn cybersecurity? That's the first
Well,
question.
how can you learn cybersecurity? Sometimes I joke that, years ago, I am the reason that some of the bookstores no longer have comfy chairs because I would just sit in a chair. Because you have to actually get hands-on experience. You just have to. So you have to find some sort of a program, and you may start with self-study books, but you've got to do some labs somewhere. And you could set up your own computer systems, and you could try to network them together and everything, or you pick a program like this where, like in the CEH, it's a full target system. There's like Windows Server 2016, 2019. There's Ubuntu. There's Parrot, which is their Linux distribution they've chosen. So, and then you've got Windows 11 out there as well. So it's a full lab environment that's all set up. In our the Where can you learn it? Well, here's one. Now, are there remote jobs available? It depends. That's a hot topic these days. Right now I am max telework, and I've loved it. That was the best decision. They were like, "Would you like to be on site or be remote?" And I said, "I'll go home." And then COVID happened. So I was like, well, that was the best decision I ever made. I did miss out on the chance to go to China when that happened, but okay, I'll stay home. Because nobody wanted to go to China, because that was where COVID was. So nobody was going anywhere in 2020. Um,
Right. The next question comes from CS Sangash. He or she has 7 years of experience in IT technical support and is looking to transition in cybersecurity. So, given my background, what certifications would be the best starting point? I'm particularly interested in certifications that align with my experience and help me build a strong foundation. So, this person is from IT technical support.
All right. So definitely the Security Plus is one of the key ones. If you're doing a security analyst role, that's sort of one of the go-tos. Security Plus is known by HR people. There's no, well, what's this certification? Well, no, we know what this certification is. This has been out for, I want to say, close to 20 years. I think I got my Security Plus back in about, like 2005, and I was not the first iteration of that exam. Um, the So Security Plus is one of the best ones to start with. Absolutely. And as far as, I think you're going to find that if you have IT technical support skills, it'll make your life easier in cybersecurity. Because you'll still be drawing upon that experience. And sometimes when we get to that CISSP, those are the roles where we say, well, did you provision user accounts? Yes. Now let's go look at the common body of knowledge. Oh, you actually have some experience here. You didn't call it cybersecurity, but you might. So some of your experience actually still helps you and lets you hit the ground running. Um, yeah, so that the Security Plus is definitely there. The ethical hacker is sort of the de facto. It is the offensive security, so to speak. I hate to use that because there is the offensive security certification, but you know, purposely breaking into systems. The ethical certified ethical hacker, that is there. They were the first ones to say, here's the methodology for it. So that is recognized world over. And the CISSP, you're going to see that, and when you look at job postings, you're going to see the certification, and so that's what you go after.
Got it. Got it. So which certifications do you recommend for directors level to manage team, understand, and guide as
So actually, I think this was the question I saw. Maybe I saw this in the chat box also, and definitely the CISSP or the CISM are your go-to answer for this one. But that doesn't mean you can't skip up to the CISSP because you're managing people, and they're going to ask you questions about some of the ethical hacking, and that's one of the key areas that the CISSP does not cover on purpose, because the CISSP goes this way, and the CISM, they're over the management space, but as a manager, yeah, you need to know the cybersecurity side of it also.
right? Got it. I hope that answers your question, Nayak. You had that question at the beginning of the session. So next we have Nick. He is a BSc Computer Science and a junior pen tester certification. What is the recommended path or certification for offensive security to gain
I,
better hands-on skills?
the certified ethical hacker with the whole lab environment is phenomenal. It's because you have a fully functional lab, and it's 6 months lab access. Like I said, it's a full environment. I mean, you can't ask for anything else, and it's very easy. And if something goes wrong, you just say close the lab and you exit, and then you say launch the lab. And in like whatever it is, like 2 minutes, the lab's back up and running. They give you step-by-step directions. You know exactly what to do, but you can also go off on your own. It's a fully functional environment also. So, yeah, so I think we kind of, yeah, so for offensive security, the CEH is the certified ethical hacker. That is the gold standard that's recognized.
Right,
And
got it.
people with little experience in cybersecurity take this course absolutely, and that's the purpose of that introduction to cybersecurity. Is let's bring everybody up to that common denominator of knowledge in cybersecurity.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think that answers the next one, which is this program suitable for technical and non-technical professionals both? So yeah, would you like to take that as well?
Well, right. As you, yeah, you may say that you're a non-technical person, but you're coming in through the introduction to cybersecurity. And people say, well, technical or non-technical. I say, I could be a manager, but I have to understand the technical. And at some point in my life, I have to have had my hands on a keyboard. I have to have understand what they're doing, because otherwise, I think back to when I was at a financial institution and I was leading a security program. I would have a vendor call me and say that they were going to conduct a penetration test, and they told me it was $10,000. I said,
Mhm.
whoa, 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 wait, wait. I was like, wait, that's too cheap. Like, what are you doing here? And they said, oh, well, we put this thing on your network, and I said, well, this thing that you're putting on my network is a vulnerability scanner. It's going to spit out a whole big long list of vulnerabilities. But what does that buy me? But that's what we've always done before, and I had to politely. I am the new sheriff in town, and I've conducted these engagements, and I know what should be done. And so that was part of managing the program, was knowing the cybersecurity part of it. That, like, I've actually had my hands on the keyboard, and I know, like, if even if I'm not going to do it, I know what they're doing, so I can expect it of them, and I can vet them and sort of, no, your work is not valid. Even if I'm not doing it every single day, I still have to know enough. And that's why, like, I upgraded my CEH to version 11, to version 12, and now 13. You just stay current, because you
Mhm.
have to.
Right. So Clement has this question. Most employees in my country seek people with practical experience in cybersecurity. As someone who just got out of university, what advice and roadmap should he be taking?
So having the practical experience, we hear that we want a lot of experience. We do. We want someone who has done more than just read the book. And
Mhm.
it it is, I think it's still possible to pass the Security Plus without touching a computer. It's not easy. Um, the Security Plus, you probably could. But the certified ethical hacker, no, never going to happen. You're going to have to be hands-on with that. So as someone who just got out of university with a bachelor's degree, what kind of advice would you have? Let's see. You have, what kind of degree was it? I'm reading back here. Was it a cybersecurity degree?
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
have
I mean, and that's where if you can pass the certified ethical hacker, that, in order to pass it, you have to have practical experience. So, and then, like we said to someone earlier, like, if you have a technical role at this point, some, IT technical support, and now I say, okay, so I want a cybersecurity role. Well, I've passed the exam. In order to pass the exam, I had to do all these hands-on labs, and I've already been doing, you're like, oh, well, I've been doing quite a few of these things that are cybersecurity tasks. So, and it's just, realize I don't promise the moon and the stars. Your first role may be a SOC analyst or service desk analyst. I've seen organizations that's just That's the way they bring you in. They make you sit there in that service desk for 90 days. Now, what you do on day 91, that's up to you.
Right.
And that's a way of addressing that question sometimes is, sometimes you take, the SOC analyst role or the service desk role because it gets your foot in the door. And once you're in the door, that proverbial 90 days, but on 90, after day 91, the rest is up to you because now you're there, you know what's going on. You start to get that chance to grow in that role
True. True.
into
True.
the role you want.
Correct. So Arslan has this question: what are the steps you can give us in today's session so we can enter cybersecurity and also tell about the fields and job roles for starters? I think the fields, you've certainly mentioned the fields, maybe some job roles, and what kind of steps should someone follow?
It's funny. It's almost like these questions are coming together because we were just talking about this the service desk and the security analyst and the SOC analyst, and those are excellent entry roles if you have like no experience and you want to get into cybersecurity.
Mhm.
And of course, once you're at an organization, you learn that organization, you get a chance to show your skills and grow into the role you want. Um, the I think I mentioned earlier consulting organizations, consulting companies. That can also be a great. They'll take you oftentimes with no experience, but they'll make sure that you can pass this curriculum. And so now if you've passed all this curriculum, then you go in and say, well, I already have all this. And so they know they can deploy you. You can hit the ground running. And usually they'll have like a manager or director type person that you report into, and they check all your work. And but they're the base whatever skills you have, they'll let you do it. So they might bring you in at entry level. And that happened. Gosh, that was a role I had probably about 14 years ago. About 14 years ago, they hired me, and we don't know, we don't know. And it was like, oh, you could do that. Oh, you could do that. And it was like within a year, I was supervising other people. And I was, they were like, oh, well, here's your consultant. Oh, I became a principal so fast it wasn't even funny. And it's just the different job roles. I think consulting is an excellent place for folks who, because you get a lot of experience in a lot of sites real fast.
Yes. So before we take the last question, I'm just going to share the link to the deck here. Someone was asking if we could share the PDF. I mean, you're going to receive the recording, and you also have the recording right now. You could watch that on YouTube, but I'm still sharing the link to the deck here on the chat. Okay, so one last question from Michael. Is an individual of age above 50 years have any relevance to transition to a cybersecurity career?
I, I almost want to say no, no. No, absolutely no. Totally, you totally can. It is totally possible. I have seen folks do it. I'm trying to think. I was involved in a workforce development program, a lot of teaching classes, and I saw these people firsthand. And not that you've got to want it. Because we had this one guy we called Triple Play. And because we here in the United States, we have the cable providers that it's like cable TV and internet and phone, and he raved about his triple play, right? The guy would also show up the last day of class to pick up his books. He wouldn't attend class and he'd show up the last day. Is he working in cybersecurity? I don't think so. Because once he got his book, I never heard from him. And I'm like, well, I don't know what you did, sir, because you missed out on all the hands-on exercises that we did through the whole program. The other people, they took their skills and they're doing search engine. We were doing web design and cybersecurity of internet services. And like the one guy's like leading a search engine optimization practice and all sorts of web development efforts. So and yes, he was over 50. And other people that were part of that same program, even if they weren't 50 exactly, they were like 40 to 50, somewhere in that 40 to 50 range. So Michael, yes, if you want to do it, you can do it because this is all new technology.
Mm.
This is not, this like all this AI technology, right? If you asked people 2 years ago, they weren't dealing with AI. So guess what? You're actually on a common footing, and you're here, so you're using a computer.
Yes. So you might as well upskill in cybersecurity. So with that, we come to an end of this very engaging session. Thanks so much, Will, for your time today. I enjoyed listening to you, and also, I kind of hope I took a career in cybersecurity as well, but that's not possible. I don't have the background, neither do I understand it. But anyway, I
So you're
wish.
gonna have to take this class. I
I
can't say class. You're gonna have to take this program. I'm sorry.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, it was great listening to your advice, and I hope. I mean, I'm sure all the learners found the advice useful, actionable. I'm sure you're going to take away something from the session that you can put to use. So with that, we come to the end of this session. We're going to launch another poll asking your names for the webinar certificate. So you've got the link to the deck, but in case you want the recording and also want the certificate, I'm going to launch a quick poll now. So I'm ending the poll that collects your interest for the program. In case you're still interested, please click on the link to the course page and enter your details, and a learning advisor will be with you shortly. Okay, so they will reach out to you on your phone. So make sure your phone number is entered correctly. Do not enter a dummy number. Someone will contact you and give you the details to the course. Right. So here you go. I'm launching a certificate poll as well. And if you have any last minute questions to ask, Will, please put them on the Q&A box. Let's see if we have any. Yes, we have
I
one more
see one
question.
here. Yeah. Wow, that's a loaded question. What
Mm.
steps should I take to ensure my personal devices and accounts used for academic and personal purposes remain secure from phishing and malware attacks? So quickly, number one, update your devices on a regular basis. And number two, use a secure password. That is not you. Every service should you have a unique password. Don't share it with others. Don't share it between services.
Mm.
Number three, I'll say this in ode to CISA's Jen Easterly. She is departing the department January 20th. She's departing, and her infamous thing is multi-factor authentication. And so not just a secure password, but also multi-factor authentication.
Mm.
Uh, so it's, not just username and password, but send a code to your mobile device or something like that. And phishing and malware, just someone trademarked this saying, it's be cyber smart. And I don't remember who right now, but the idea is there's lots of websites out there, and just because it's on the internet, it's not true. And in fact, if it's on the internet, I should be zero trusting it. I should not trust it. I should vet it out. I should, what is that website offering me? It's offering me this plugin. And that could be malware. Or there's this email that says that my PayPal account has been compromised.
Wow.
Really? Has it? You know, I always chuckle when it's an institution that I don't even have an account with, and they say, your XYZ account has been breached. And I go, no, 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 I'm not. And there was one actually in the last 2 months that was PayPal fraud. And they actually they basically had infiltrated into somehow making legitimate PayPal invoices.
Oh my God. Oh,
And you're like, but it's like, don't click on the link, because if you click on the link, now you told them you exist.
yes.
We have a live one here. So it's, you get that phishing email, you don't click on it just because you just go, nope, that's phishing. I'm going to ignore it.
Yes. And in India, you get calls saying your number is with the telecom department, your number is going to be blocked. Or sometimes they pretend to be the bank. They say your details aren't, they don't match. So we're going to close your account. We get a lot of calls in India. It's not emails or links anymore. It's a new kind of way to, fraud people.
And it's, when that happens, right, you hang up the phone and you call that department directly.
Yeah, yeah. That's the advice that we receive. So we hang up the phone. You don't use the IVRS message. You don't enter any options that they give you. So they say press one to know more about. Or there was, I mean, if people from India are still here in this webinar, so we also have there was a fraud message that said, "Oh, your FedEx parcel is stuck, at so and so place. We're from the customs." So that happened as well. But we get these calls. No one receives messages anymore. So it's a new way to con people.
Yeah, it, you know, they keep getting smarter and they're getting better. And
Yes.
that's the cybersecurity. You'll never be bored.
Yes. All right, great. So people asking how they can get their certificate. I've launched this QR code, so you can join on Zoom and then give in your name. But I think with this we've got nearly all responses. If you still want your certificate, you can email us at webinars@simplilearn.net. Okay, and you will get your certificate whenever we send it out. Okay, yes, you will receive the recording, Faith. You will receive. What is the name of the course and the duration and the cost? Right. So the name of the course is Cybersecurity Masters Program. Everything about the course is there on the chat box. I'm just going to send it out as a response to this question. Please take a look. And if you're interested in the course, do fill in your entry and the learning advisor will contact you. Okay. Yes. Not here. Please email at webinars@simplilearn.net. That's the email ID. Okay. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the session. And also, thank you, Bill, for your time. And it was great listening to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hosting.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye then. Have a good day to you and have a good night, people in India. Bye bye.